Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. As you know, we're continuing with the playlist for IGCSE Edexcel Maths 8 topic questions. These questions come in higher mostly. In this video, we're going to do graphs of trigonometric functions. So this is the last topic in this playlist. If you want to go through any other topic, please check out the playlist above because in this playlist, you will come across every single topic that comes in the higher exam. So let's start with this and develop better understanding about how to solve these questions. So the diagram shows a sketch of graph y equals to 2 sine x plus 60. We have to find the coordinates of point A. So they have given us the graph for y equals to 2 sine x plus 60. So first, I want you to know what the basic shape of a sine graph looks like. This is your sine graph. Start with 0. Maximum value is 1. Minimum value is -1. Maximum value is at 90. Minimum is at 270. Y0 at 180, 360, and x equals to 0. So this is the basic graph of y equals to sine x. Now over here we have 60 being added to x, which means the graph is moving 60 degrees to the left-hand side. If you're someone who has done transformation of graphs, you would know if something is directly being added to x, we move that many units to the left side. And if something is being subtracted from x, we move that many units to the right-hand side. So it's the opposite. So if 60 degrees is being added to x, that means we move the graph 60 degrees to the left side. And then if something is being multiplied to the function, that means you multiply that thing, like that's the scale factor for the y value. So you multiply the y value by 2 in this case. So A is our maximum point over here based on the graph that has been drawn in the question. So if we take this point, at this point, the coordinates are 90 and 1. We're subtracting 60 from 90, so that gives us 30. And then we're multiplying 1 with 2, so that gives us 2. So A is going to be 30 and 2. Once again, for this, you need to know the basics of a transformation of graphs. If you're someone who doesn't know it, please check out the link above because in this video, I've discussed the transformation of graphs in detail using past paper questions. Then find the coordinates of B. So B is this point over here. Let me take a different color. This is B. So coordinates of B based on the original sine graph, that's going to be 360 and 0. Same thing, we subtract 60 from 360, that's going to give us 300, and 0 times 2 is 0. So the coordinates for our point B are going to be 300 and 0. So to summarize, if something is being added to x, you subtract that value from x, like you move towards the left-hand side. And if something is being subtracted from x directly, you move that many units towards the right-hand side. And if something is being multiplied to the equation, you multiply the y value with that number. Then the next question says the graph of y equals to a times sine x plus b is drawn on the grid. We have to find the value of a and b. Now the value of a determines our amplitude. So a is your amplitude and b is your vertical transformation. Now what is the amplitude? Amplitude is basically a distance from the origin of the graph towards the peak of the graph. So this. Why am I stopping over here? The reason why I'm stopping over is because if you look at the graph, this is your x-axis. It has shifted up. Since it has shifted up, that means there is some vertical transformation happening. So originally it was over here. Now it's up. So it has gone up by 1 unit. And for the amplitude, this is 0.5 and this is 3.5, which means it's 3. So value of A is going to be 3 and value of B is going to be 1. Once again, value of B is 1 because we can see a vertical transformation. The graph has shifted 1 unit up. And for the amplitude is the distance from the origin towards the peak of the wave. So this is your peak of the wave. So from the origin, like the x-axis, we're measuring the distance towards the peak, and that is 3 units. We start from 0.5, end at 3.5. So 3.5 minus 0.5 is 3, and the graph has shifted 1 unit up, so B is 1. So that is your final answer. Then it says a diagram shows a sketch of the graph y equals to cos of x over 2. Find the coordinates of point A. So once again, let's draw the original graph for y equals to cos x. This is y equals to cos x, where the maximum value is 1, minimum is -1. This is 0. This is going to be 90. Minimum value is at 180. This is 270, and maximum value again is going to be at 360. So now your x value is being divided by 2, which means whatever is the x coordinate, you times it by 2. The scale factor becomes 2. If it was like something multiplied by the entire function, then it remains as it is. But for x, it's always the opposite. So if x is being multiplied by something, you divide the x coordinate by that number. But if x is being divided by something, you multiply the x value by that number. So for a over here, originally a is based on the coordinates given in our graph, that's going to be 90, 0. But now since we're going to multiply the x value by 2, so 90 times 2 is 180. So it's going to be 180 and 0. That is your coordinate. Then find the coordinates of B. B originally based on my graph, the original one, that's going to be 180 and -1. So to that, we're again going to multiply 180 by 2. So that's going to give us 360 and -1. The y value remains the same. What changes is the x value. So that is your answer. And this is the graph of y equals to a cos of x minus b plus c for x is less than equal to 360 but greater than equal to -180 is drawn on the grid below. We have to find the value of a, b, and c. So same thing. If I draw the original graph for cos, this is what it looks like. This is 1, this is -1, this is 90, 180, 270, and this one is 360. As you can see, the minimum value is at 90, which means the graph has shifted 90 units to the left-hand side. So if it has shifted 90 units to the left-hand side, that means we added 90. So B is going to be -90, because over here this minus, so x minus -90, that's going to be x plus 90. So since it's going towards the left side, we're adding 90. So since the maximum is at 5, minimum is at 1, so that means it's going to be at 3. So 1, 2, 3. This is your origin line. That's the middle of the graph. So that means your amplitude is 3. So A is 3. And for the vertical transmission, we can see that the graph has moved 2 units up. Because this was your axis, now this is the axis, it has shifted up. So C is 2, A is 3, and B is -90. So that is your answer for this question. If you've noticed so far, I'm drawing the original graph for each function and then transforming it step by step to see how it's changing and what are going to be the new coordinates, what's going to be the amplitude, the vertical transformation, or the horizontal transformation. So for these type of questions, you need to be familiar with what the sine graph and cosine graph originally looks like. Then for this, it says the graph of y equals sine x for x is less than equal to 360 and greater than equal to 0 is drawn on the grid. We have to draw the graph of y equals to 2 sine x plus 30 for the same range of values for x. So y is being multiplied by 2 and x is being subtracted by 30. We're moving the graph 30 units horizontally towards the left-hand side. So 180 minus 30 is going to be 150. So that's going to come over here. This is 150. And 360 comes over here. And this 90 comes at 60. and this 270 comes out to 40. So all of these points shift 30 units towards the left-hand side. So this was your horizontal transformation. For the vertical transformation, y is getting multiplied by 2. So for the vertical transformation, y value is getting multiplied by 2. So maximum value is now 2. So that comes over here because you've shifted 30 units to the left-hand side, and -1 becomes -2 over here. So now to draw the graph, we're going to start over here like this. Then this connects with this and this over here. Now to get the value for x equal to 0 and x equal to 360, you can substitute these angles in the equation. So when you put x equals to 0 in this equation, that gives us 1. So that means this goes over here. And same for 360, if you substitute this in the equation, that also gives us 1. So this is your graph from x less than equal to 360 but greater than equal to 0. Since the graph of y equals to a sine of x plus b plus c for x is less than equal to 360 and greater than equal to 0 is drawn on the grid, find a suitable value for a, b, and c. So very similar to what you've done in the previous questions. We start with the original function. This is your sine function. Maximum value at 1, minimum value at -1. This is 0, 90, 180, 270, and this is 360. So this maximum value is at 4 now, and minimum is at -2. So 4 minus -2, that's going to be 6. And if we divide 6 by 2, that is 3, which means the x-axis is at y equals to 1 now. The graph has shifted 3 units up. So 3 units up, which means that is your c value. 3, because c represents your vertical transformation. Since we moved the graph 30 units to the left-hand side, that means we're adding 30 degrees to x, which means b is going to be 30. Then for a, which is the amplitude, that is your distance from the center of the graph towards the peak, which is 1, 2, 3, 3 units. So that is your value of a. So that's your answer. Then says here's the graph of y equals to sine x for x is less than equal to 360 and greater than equal to 0. On the grid above, sketch the graph of y equals to sine of x plus 90 for x is less than equal to 360 and greater than equal to 0. So plus 90 means we are shifting the graph 90 units horizontally towards the left-hand side. So this moves over here, this moves over here, this here, and this here. So all of the x values have moved 90 degrees towards the left-hand side. Why? Because we're saying that it's x plus 90. So if it's x plus 90, we move 90 units towards the left-hand side. So now if I draw the graph, this peak comes over here, the origin comes over here, 180 will come over here, 270, so that's over here, and 360 is over here. So this is your graph for y equals to sine of x plus 90. Everything has, the x values have moved 90 degrees towards the left side. So it's a horizontal transformation. Then for x less than equal to 360 and greater than equal to 0, the graph of y equals to sine of x over 2 plus 3 has a maximum point at a, right on the coordinates of a. So now since x is being divided by 2 in the equation, that means to the coordinate we will times it by 2. And to the y value we will add 3 because we're adding 3 to the equation. So if you look at the maximum value, that's this, 90 and 1. So 90 times 2, that's 180. And 3 plus 1, that's 4. So the coordinates of A are going to be 180 and 4. To the x value, we multiplied 2 because that's a scale factor. So 90 times 2 became 180. The reason why I took 90 and 1 because that's the maximum point at the y equals to sine x graph. So now when we transform that point step by step, the x value times 2 and the y value plus 3, that gives us 180 degrees and 4. And with that, we're done with the questions for transformation of trigonometric graphs. If you have any questions or confusions, please leave a comment below and I'll help you out. If you understood everything, please like and subscribe and share this video with your friends.